This is news on WhatsApp Caribbean for Tuesday, January 27th, 2015. Stay with us as we brief you on regional developments. I'm Deanza Roberts. In the headlines, TV6 host was beaten, stabbed and throat slit. That's according to autopsy report. In Guyana, CSEC and CAPE examinations rescheduled to accommodate that country's general elections. And no Ebola case in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so says health officials in the country. In sports, WICB president asked for patience to resolve issues with Indian Cricket Board. The details to these and other stories up next.
Turbo charge. Dirty life. Turbo charge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord, as I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it up. Don't come and tell me the party done. Cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
In the news, the death of TV6 point-blank host Marcia Henville was no accident. That's according to an autopsy report, which has revealed that the journalist was murdered before she was burnt in a fire that broke out at her home early Saturday morning. According to the report, Henville was beaten on the head, stabbed about the body, and her throat was slit. This has made it much harder now on family and friends who are still trying to come to terms with her tragic passing. We join TV6 for this report.
Justice will be done. This has been confirmed that this was no accident.
Blunt force trauma, multiple stab wounds, that's what it says. Painful, terrific, and we just have to try to get through this and give the children especially the support.
The investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of TV6 host Marcia Henville has taken a new turn after an autopsy found that she had been beaten on the head, stabbed about the body, and her throat slit.
I don't even know how to feel. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm bewildered. All these emotions are all wrapped up. I lost my friend.
The burnt body of the 51-year-old host of Point Blank was found face down on her bed in the bedroom of the family home at Fidelis Heights, St. Augustine last Saturday morning. Residents said they heard arguments before the fire, which was confined to the bedroom. Henville's husband reportedly suffered first-degree burns to his arms and legs in the bedroom fire.
Thank you, TV6, for that report. Her husband is under heavy police guard at hospital and is said to be the main suspect in the incident. Many Vincentians were alarmed when reports began circulating on social media about a case of Ebola in that country. The Ministry of Health has refuted claims but has confirmed that a Nigerian medical student who has a history of malaria is being treated for a malaria relapse at the country's Milton Keto Memorial Hospital. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simone Keyser Beach, through a statement issued by the ministry, says, because of the current surveillance system for Ebola, the ministry was able to quickly determine that the person does not meet the criteria to be considered as a suspected case. The ministry says they are working closely with the Caribbean Public Health Agency in the management of this patient, who is currently being treated in the isolation unit at the hospital, as is required for any malaria patient. In Guyana, the Caribbean Secondary Education Certification CSEC and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, set for May 11th, 2015, has been rescheduled. The examination scheduled for May 11th and 12th, 2015, will now be written by local candidates on June 15th and June 16th, 2015, respectively. This means that local candidates will be sitting a number of examinations days after their Caribbean counterparts. The announcement was made by the Minister of Education during a press conference held yesterday in Georgetown, Guyana. The election date has been viewed by many factions as a rather controversial one, but according to the Education Minister, the state of affairs, in her opinion, is a non-issue. Finally, in news, U.S. Marshals tracked a Florida man who was wanted for possession of child pornography all the way to Belize, where it remains illegal to have sex with girls as young as 16. Robert Andrew Regine was arrested in Dangria, a town on the Caribbean coast in southern Belize, where he had been living for about 6 months. He appeared in a court in Belize recently. He has been extradited since to the U.S. authorities. He arrived in Miami on January 23rd in the care of Customs and Border Protection. The 54-year-old man was taken to Brevard County, where he had outstanding warrant on 12 counts of promoting sexual performances of a child. That was the wrap on news. Up next, to look at sports.
I love Girlfriend Expo. I love Girlfriend Expo. Amazing.
In sports, President of the West Indies Cricket Board, Wycliffe Cameron, has taken full responsibility of the current impasse involving the Indian Cricket Board and the WICB, and is now asking the people of the Caribbean for patience while the issues are being dealt with. Cameron, in a statement issued, says the WICB is acknowledging the process based on its constitutional rules to end the impasse between the BCCI and the WICB. He said following the incident, the WICB sought advice from several levels, including Prime Ministers, CARICOM and a task force team, at which they acted to reach a consensus. In concluding his statement, he said, and I quote, "As President, I take full responsibility. However, I am part of a team and we are working assiduously to make those adjustments in the best interest of the game. We ask for patience from the people of the Caribbean and to all our fans worldwide." That's a wrap on sports. Up next, a recap of the headlines.
Turbo charge. Dirty life. Turbo charge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord. As I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it on. Don't come and tell me the party done, cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
Recapping the headlines making news, TV6 host was beaten, stabbed and throat slit. That's according to a autopsy report. In Guyana, CSEC and CAPE examinations rescheduled to accommodate that country's general elections. And no Ebola case in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's according to health officials. In sports, WICB president asked for patience to resolve issues with Indian Cricket Board. Remember, for the latest in news, sports and other developments in the region, log on to whatsapcaribbean.com, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. This was a Carib Fire production. Thanks for joining us.